Welcome back, everybody, to the West Coast, our little version of it anyway. I thank you all for all the responses I had regarding Fritz and also the crop types that are produced in the UK. It looks like I'm pretty spot on with wheat, barley, and canola for this year. The exception might be it looks like a lot of guys grow potatoes and sugar beet as well, so I'm not sure when I'll be able to work those in there. I hope you all enjoyed my little preview video slash review slash what I think of Planet Coaster. It is still on sale as of the recording of this episode. I would imagine it'd be on sale through Halloween, as I said in that video, but I highly encourage you all to check it out and pick it up if it's on sale if you think that that type of game is something that you would like. It really is an amazing game. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I did not care. No, can't make that. Stop. I was pleasantly surprised at how much I did not end up caring about how challenging or lack of challenge that the game actually brought. You know, I started, like I said in the video, I really thought that I would not like it based on that, but I actually turned out loving the game. And like I even said, you know, I originally thought that while, okay, like I love the game, but you know, it's only for a certain type of creative. I can't understate how much I did not enjoy the game at the beginning in the free open modes until I found out that you can go into the career mode and open up any one of those as a new challenge mode. And then all of a sudden the game became amazing because I still have openness to do whatever I want, but it gives me you know, like a basic scene or a pirate theme or a fairy tale, you know, gives me something to work with and you know, and then I can go from there with their basic layout. But it's like that difference made, you know, it's like such a small change in the code, or at least I'm guessing that they have to do, where, hey, this scenario, this career mode, let's just have them started out as an open scenario or a, you know, a free scenario, and you know, or as a challenge scenario. And then, you know, it's like that decision really sold the game for me. That one decision alone sold the game for me, because without that I felt stressed at having to overly think creativity. I can't mold a blank slate, but when you give me something, I can make it a little bit better and, you know, make it something that I would enjoy. So I am so happy that they decided to include that mode. And let's just kind of go right like that and stop. And I think that, you know what, let's make this a little easier on us on the way back as well. Let's drop this on this side, and there we go. Let's be a little bit careful about it, and now we can raise, and now we'll go back to our other side, and then we should be able to be on our way. So I think that Planet Coaster, based on what a lot of my viewers have said in the past, I think a lot of you would really like that game, and I highly recommend you to check it out. I think that a lot of people would get a lot of enjoyment out of that game. Let's, you know what? Let's just back up and get a little bit more of that if we can. Yeah, and this is where I'm talking about. It's just, this tractor does not have the best turning radius. It really kind of hurts us sometimes, but it's like, it's such a, whoops, I didn't think I was that close. It's such a bad turning radius, and, you know, you'd think the tractor would be bigger than it is, or have more horsepower than it does, but, I mean, I guess it does have a decent amount of horsepower as it is, but, anyway. Yeah, that's my little plug for Planet Coaster. I'm not receiving any compensation from Frontier, and, you know, originally I was really mad at Frontier because I'm like, oh, like, I felt like they sold this amazing space sim, and then they released something that is only a quarter of good as what they said that it would be, and then they're making a Frontier Coaster game, or a Planet Coaster game, when instead, my opinion was they should be making a space sim. But I don't know how they work the finances of that. Whatever. Elite Dangerous is getting a little bit better. Well, it's getting a lot better slowly, but that's neither here nor there. Frontier came out with an amazing masterpiece in Planet Coaster. I love it. And yep, I will stop talking about Planet Coaster right now. I do, I talk about Factorio a lot, and I haven't done any videos on that. I actually went back, and I don't think I like RimWorld as much as I thought I did. RimWorld is just, it's a little bit more story narrative driven, and it's a little bit less of what I like, where I feel like in Oxygen Not Included, it's a little bit more of a challenge building your base up, and I really, really enjoy building your base up in Oxygen Not Included. We'll get a good view here of the outside and how awesome this West Coast scenery is. I think that RimWorld has a lot of elements that I like, but I just like the complexity and the, basically the science behind Oxygen Not Included, where with RimWorld, they have a little bit more of a open worldness base building aspect. Oxygen Not Included, I feel like is a little bit more sciencey, and I love that about Oxygen Not Included. It is a little bit more complicated because of that, but again, I love it, and I think that that's the difference between the two. So I'm still editing my RimWorld video. I know I promised my RimWorld video. That's the whole reason I'm talking about this. I did promise a RimWorld video, but it's slow coming because I don't really enjoy editing as much as I do editing my Oxygen Not Included videos, because I like that game better, and now I like Planet Coaster better, and there are just way too many good games out there that I really want to enjoy. But back to Factorio, I promised that I would come out with a Factorio video at some point here, and probably the biggest slowdown is, I don't know if you guys are reading the comments. I told this to, oh my goodness, I forget who I was talking to. I am so sorry, I forgot your name. But I had a really good discussion with someone on Factorio, and they said that they didn't have anybody to play multiplayer with. Maybe I should start a Factorio server game with you viewers. But the point is, the best way to play Factorio that I have found is if you play it with 2 players, maybe 3. With 2 players, I get on there with my buddy, and one of us does the raw materials and converting them the first level. So iron into iron plates, and copper into copper plates, and oil refined into the petroleum, and what are the other 2? Light oil and heavy oil. And those are my absolute, so we divide up, and then the other person does basically they run the factory. They use all those raw resources. They use them for science and for building everything else in the factory that you need. And it works really well. If you've ever played Factorio, if you're anything like me, you get to the point where, like, okay, so now I want to make my research, process faster. And so you work on expanding that and optimizing that, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're sucking down like 5 times the amount of copper plates than you used to be. And then it's like, oh man, now I have to stop this and go back and refine my copper process to make that even better. And then when you go back to refine the copper process, then you run out of something, or something stopped, and you have to go back to your research process. And so it just results in you running all over the factory, so many different parts, and I am not paying attention to when I am turning, and I need to pay a little bit closer attention to that. So we are going on, we are going to do this. And so Factorio works really well, amazingly well with 2 players, because you get that, he does one thing and you do the other thing, and they're almost 2 completely separate jobs. Obviously, they both depend on each other, and it is the best way to play Factorio, in my opinion. I actually, to the point where I still have fun playing it by myself, especially in the beginning stages. But when you start to grow and expand your factory, it's just not as much fun when you are all by yourself. It just isn't. It is so much more fun. Let's get a little bit better view there. It is so much more fun to play Factorio with at least 2 people. And so if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, if you don't have a friend that plays Factorio, maybe I could, I don't know, get a bunch of us together and we could do Factorio. But then, of course, you always run the risk of who's going to play serious and who's going to, you know, be a little troll on there and ruin your game. Because it only takes one person to ruin your factory. So, I mean, we could do that, but I don't know. Anyway, that is why I am waiting on making a Factorio video. And I think that will end the talk of other games. Let's get back to our farm right now. So I think I might do a cinematic. We still have one other field over there to cultivate. This one is about half done while I've just been talking here. Our animals are good through the rest of the day, but tomorrow morning we will have to feed them, and then we'll have to get a start and plant. And we're going to have to plant every single field in, what would that be, basically 2 days. Assuming we get done with, so it is mid-spring, day 4. So we'll have day 5 and 6 basically to plant. I doubt we'll be able to start today by the time we get done cultivating and get the planter set up and back there on one of those fields that I left off on in the distance. But anyway, I think that is the plan. So let's try doing a little bit better turn here. And there we go. I think that is good. Maybe, perhaps. Oh, okay, we got it. So we're going to have to come back. There's a lot of end rows that we're going to have to go back and do, but if it turns and gets you on your way a little bit faster, I think that is beneficial in the end for speed. You know, you can spend a while backing up there and getting it all the way to the edge, but then, you know, by that time you could already be down on the other end, having finished a whole nother row. So it's probably easier just to go back around in the end and do them later. I think at that rate it's maybe 3 or 4 passes at the end of each field, but that's, you know, it could have been better, but whatever, that's fine. I do think that this, oh man, I just keep getting distracted by the amazing view in this game. It is amazing. And now I lost my train of thought. I did actually look at, so a lot of people suggested the bigger fence. I think it was built, who was that? Platinum Turbo said that it was built by, whoops, not this row. It was built by the same guy that built this tractor, actually, that we're driving, if I have that correct. So it is a quality work, and there we are. You know, having something in the 350 horsepower range would be awesome, because then that would allow us to, you know, power this at basically full speed the whole time. And then other things like the manure spreader, the baler. I don't know if you remember from the manure spreader video, we did slow down going uphill, but I mean, it wasn't atrocious. So if we keep Fritz as a good little, whatchamacallit, if we keep Fritz as a grasswork tractor, I think that would work out really well for Fritz. And, you know, we wouldn't want to use Billy and definitely not Heidi for those jobs, because it would just not be good. This is just an amazing view. I love the West Coast. It is kind of a shame, though, I have not explored any of the rest of the map, so that is kind of a sad thing, but whatever. We'll get to that. I think that we are nearing the time for a cinematic, so I think I will, well, I pulled up a little bit too close to the end, but I think that I will leave you guys. I'll do a cinematic and I'll catch you on the other side. By the time the cinematic is done, I would imagine the episode would probably be wrapping up to a conclusion, because I have been talking for a very long time about other games, and I will try to minimize that when we are on the West Coast, but you know, it gives you a little channel update while you are watching some beautiful scenery, so I hope that you guys don't mind that. And be sure to check out that Planet Coaster video, like I said. Like, seriously, if you guys enjoy other construction games, I think that you'll really enjoy that one, and it's on sale, so But I will try to minimize my talking of other games while we are on the West Coast. But you know, you gotta you gotta find something to talk about every now and then, right? Look at that view. That's I guess one last thing for anybody who is wondering, I am still making my map. I am working on it slowly. The harvest really slowed me down, and anytime you stop a project like that, it is just so much harder to get started again. So I've been a little bit slow to that, but I have a, you know, I have a good block of time set aside where I'll be working on it in the future here shortly, basically over the weekend. So I plan to publish that this weekend at some point. So look for that. It will be called, I'm pretty sure it will be called Tazewell County or Central Tazewell County, based on the county of where I grew up in. And it is a, I forget the exact scale, but it is, well, it's 6 kilometers in real life, I think. Yeah, it's 6 kilometers in real life, you know, squeezed a little bit onto a 4x4 kilometer map. So it is a 4X map. And like I said, it is basically done. I just have to polish a few things and then release it. So I hope that you guys enjoy that. It will be my first map all the way from scratch, and I hope that it is good enough for everybody. At least those that like Central Illinois maps, you know, the bigger open spaces, realistic fields, etc., stuff like that. So anyway, I think that we will enter cinematic mode. So I'll catch you guys on the other side. Thanks for listening to my rambling. And you'll probably meet me on the other side where I'll say, hey, everybody, goodbye. That does it. And then I'll talk for another 5 minutes. So we will, yeah, I'm doing it right now even. So I'll just stop and I'll see you guys on the other side. So see you then. Welcome back, everybody. We just finished up the end rows, and we have this little section of field left, but that is it. So I think, let's see, let's, you know what, since we're already here, let's just kind of go around the edge like that, and we missed it. Yeah, that's what I was kind of not wanting to do. And anyway, we had gotten a lot done today, but unfortunately, we didn't start planting. Whoa, that was a little unfortunate accident. Actually, let's get off of the HUD hider there, and let's see. So it is getting pretty late in the evening. We are chugging up this hill. We are slipping a decent amount, but Frederick can do it. Look at that. You know what? With dual wheels, I actually think, I don't know if he could do this. He slipped a lot in some of those other fields without dual wheels, so these dual wheels really help out a lot. Anyway, I guess maybe let's just do a strip along here first, and can we turn up? That's awful hard. We got it. Frederick's got it. Okay, there we go. Let's get back on the field. So as I was sitting here cultivating this field, I thought a lot about what happened to us in spring in real life. And part of the problem is when you cultivate right before you plant and then it rains a lot, we had basically a lot of our corn washed out. We had to replant several fields of corn. And, you know, we still yielded 260, 270 bushels an acre on the fields that we replanted. And that's really, I'm just trying to, I didn't mean to go in circles there. You know, that is, hold on. Dismiss the tree. That is actually, that's outstanding for having to replant, but part of the problem, you know, we might have not even had to replant if we didn't cultivate the field right before planting. We had a lot of rains there in the spring, and what happens when you do not plant, or what happens right away when you do not cultivate? You know what? We're kind of at an end. Maybe I should talk about that more in the next episode when we're actually planting. I'll try my best to, you know what? I think that I should discuss that in the, you know, in the next episode when I am actually planting. So for now, let's get up there and get on in. For now, I think that I will leave that real life little lesson for when I'm actually planting. Yeah, I think, you know, this episode's basically wrapping up. I don't want to go off and start talking about something else completely different at the end of an episode. I already will have enough of a hard time saying goodbye to everybody. And let's hop on. Are we going to use dual tires or not? Well, regardless, we are done with the cultivator for the spring. Let's get out here and I guess we can just leave Fritz here. I mean, this is our, well, I guess that's technically not a private drive, so I guess I should not have left Fritz there. I guess we should, I mean, Frederick. Did I do that earlier? Did I call him Frederick? I mean, Fritz. Did I call Frederick Fritz? Anyway, let's give this a nice little washing. Does anybody name their equipment, or do they just name tractors? I don't think we've ever named our implements, but that would be interesting if anybody had any names for their equipment in real life, or in the game, for that matter. I mean, if you name anything in the game. Let's get started. My brother was taking the rest of today off since, like I said, he, you know, stayed up a long time cultivating all of the cover crops. So let's back this up, and we will do a little state of the map announcement next. And there we go. Okay, so I think that's pretty good with everything. Okay, let's run around and hop on in. Where should we park this cultivator? I guess we should park it right there. We'll probably have to back Heidi up a little bit more. Can Heidi back up? Not really. So maybe I'll just throw the cultivator there next to Fritzy. I think that's probably what I'll do, yeah. And we'll get off this not very busy road. You know, okay, there we go. We will go, let's see. We can do this from inside the cab. Oh, is that roof high enough for this? I don't know if that roof is high enough for this. We will find out. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, everything looks a little bit tighter from inside the cab, so we're gonna have to go forward a little bit, straighten up, and on back. There we go. Now we got the implement centered just a little bit. There we go. But fortunately, my dual tires are not big enough to fit back there, so we are gonna have to get out and, well, maybe if I was centered. How close were we? Yeah, if I was centered, it would have fit, but that's far enough back there to get it out of the element, so we're good there. And let's hop back inside. And are we going to well, I know, so I mean, here's the thing. I know a lot of people use dual wheels when they are planting. Whoops. When they are planting, and but they are crop road duals. They are not duals like this. So technically, with these style of duals, we would be compacting the corn rows, but granted, we don't have corn. It's kind of cereal crops, so no matter where we drive, we're going to be compacting our land. So actually, I think that we will leave the dual wheels on when we plant. I don't know. What should we do? Let's get off and take another look real quick. So we have, I don't know. What should I do? Maybe, since I am here at home, I will park Frederick for the day. We will head out tomorrow morning after we feed the cattle, and we'll decide whether or not we plant with dual tires. I know it would give us more traction for those hills, but, you know, one thing to consider, is the research for compaction says that dual tires do not reduce compaction. If farmers are using dual tires for compaction reasons, then dual tires, the research shows that it does not reduce compaction. It actually shows that since it's something like 75 or 80% of the compaction occurs in one pass, so therefore, if you have more weight on one tire instead of the weight spread out with between two tires, you compact the ground some here on the front tire, and then you go back and compact some here. If you have single tires, right, you compact it again here. And granted, yeah, it's more weight. It doesn't really compact it anymore because it is still, you're traveling over the same piece of ground. Here, yes, more weight is spread out between a greater area, but still you have a lot of weight over a lot of ground, and especially freshly cultivated ground, we would have more compaction. And indeed, that is what the research shows. Got a little trouble with my S's there. Anyway, I think that, you know what, let's put that up for a poll, because while it might not be feasible to plant in those duals, I guess it could be possible. It would give us more traction, and it would be easier going up those hills. But anyway, we'll put that to a poll. Should I use dual tires in Frederick when I am planting or not? I think either way could feasibly be realistic, even though I think most guys would take off their tires. But don't let that influence your vote. Whatever you decide, please vote on that poll, and I will do that as a result of the poll for Monday's episode. And for now, let's see what else is going on the farm. We can look real quick at our at our animals. And yeah, so they'll last through the night. We'll feed them tomorrow. We're good on power food. We just need to dump in a bunch of silage and water and maybe a hay bale. But other than that, we're fine there. And let's see, we have this beautiful little... Oh, we could come up with a name for this guy. I never thought about that. Should we come up with a name for him? What would a name for our Lely Juno be? Maybe that would be Bridget. maybe that could be named Bridget. I know somebody will like that name, but I don't know. Should we name... Yeah, I think... he's kind of got a mind of his own. Or she. Whatever we deem to name him. So, how about this? Leave the name for our little Lely Juno in the comment description. And we will come up with... a poll on Monday based on the results in the comment section. And then everybody can vote on the name. But right now, we will come up with comments, and... if I remember correctly, there's, I think, 5 or 6 total options available on the poll. So, if I get more good suggestions that I like, remember, it's all subjective to me, and I do have to limit it down somehow. So, I think the names, I don't know. I might eliminate some names that I really don't like, or that I cannot stand, or that I don't feel fit very well. But if it's a name that I can stand and there's more than 6 or 5 or whatever the YouTube poll limit is, I'll just draw them out of a hat and I'll go with those options for the poll on Monday. But for now, the poll will be whether or not to do dual tires when planting for von Friedrichstein. And remember to suggest names for our Lely Juno. And yeah, so you can see that I put that gate in to kind of protect against, so I don't accidentally somehow not see the hazard there and just drive right over it. So that would be kind of a poor thing to do. And we still have snow here in mid-spring. Can you believe it? That snow is still melting. Yeah, snow here too. We still have it. Oh well. My wife's telling me to... This happens in real life. She's like, hey, are you coming to bed? Or, hey, it's dinner time. Yeah, I'll be right there. I'll be right there, honey. And then an hour later, I am still on the computer. And, it's not that she gets so mad about the extra time. It's just that I'm essentially lying. Granted, not on purpose, but I am lying. And I say, yeah, I'll be right there. So she expects me like, oh, good, we're going to go to bed early tonight. And then I don't go to bed early. And Anyway, yeah, so that that causes a few problems there. I gotta be better about that. So anyway, kind of to simulate real life, I got to go in for dinner right now. I keep saying that I'm gonna go, and I just don't go. So for now, from Mountain View Farm, is that an actual like watercolor rendition of this view? Is that view actually out there? I don't know. I mean, it looks similar, but I don't think that exact view is it? Let's see. Let's look at the sign. And I think the sign would be, I think it might be over here with the mountains. And let's see, we have the I don't know. I don't know. I think it would be over here somewhere if it indeed was of... Well, I mean, Mountain View Farm, so it has a view of the mountains. I guess maybe it could be those pastures over there. And I don't know. Yeah, okay, I'll get out of your pasture. Okay, if that's really what you want, I'll leave your pasture. Okay, and here we go. We are getting ready to sign off from Mountain View Farm right next to the pretty little painting. Okay, see you guys later, and goodbye. Don't forget to like and subscribe and thumb up and comment and that stuff. Yeah, okay, bye-bye.